Welcome to Loleventvods. These are the best highlights of today's LEC 2025 matchup.
Out of those big sleep moments. And there is pressure on whenever you're going to pick something like
steal away this blue buff.
This is such a game. This just feels like a smite fight, though. Maybe if he lands everything, it'll be all right, but...
Yeah, it might just be a flip.
Seed.
I mean, we'll see.
This is a lot to bet on a flip. Oh! Manages to grab it from the side of Bukata.
Paris is here.
Knock back to the wall is there. Paris immediately going to fall. Ice from downtown. Bukata stronger in the matchup, yes, but not in a 3v1.
As BDS both lane here moving first, immediately to it. But it's actually 1-1-3 starting with the Skarner Flash E, which I wasn't expecting. And it ends up being Bukata going down, but we got crazy trades on top.
Relevant. Boom!
It's a solo kill.
Blank. Gen X flashing straight into his face with a long range weapon.
He's doing it.
That's what's supposed to happen, right? You're supposed to be able to bully him. Paris on the way out now. Bloodbath on every side of the map. Both teams, seeing that they have the isolated 2v2, decide it's time to start fighting. Kadui getting
1-1-3's here.
Down, but 1-1-3 is on the way in. Ishtal's edge. Finding the knockback flash out from Kadui. Loopy will be locked up, but no ulti quite yet. Loopy set to fall. Nice lockdown, and 1-1-3 grabbing another kill.
And after a disaster.
So good for the confidence and good for the state
no
of the
flash
game,
here.
But Kadui way too far forward. Thought he was safe. I mean, he's going to take his time walking out of this one, but he should just fall. Shattering strike, fall, CC there. Overextending. They don't have the damage to immediately punish. Q going wide. And Ice, he's just too damn clean. Again, he was dead 15 seconds ago, but they just had to make sure the buttons were going to get hit. The skill shots
Didn't
were
have to
going to
reload.
connect.
But it was a great sidestep by Ice there onto the Varus Q. It is going to be the Gross picked up by Bukata. But now Kadui falling there, and most likely Drake going over to the side of BDS. I mean, Loopy has a crazy cheese here.
Loopy can get things kicked off. Reeker does have ult. Q flash forward. Immediate follow-up. They're only managing to lock up one. 1-1-3 now ready to turn. Reeker doing decent damage, but we'll have to snap back in a second. Now taken out of the fight. Ice 4-shot going to hit the Drake, and down it goes. Reeker going back in with the Q3.
And it's messy from both teams.
As the Hex Flash takes him away. Bukata going in. Not aware there's a Skarner waiting. Excellently layered CC. Not even time to put anyone to sleep.
That's a disaster for SK, and it's so disjointed as Irrelevant gets a good little chunk here onto Reeker. But you see Loopy wants to go for the 1-1-3 is playing this early game fantastically. Like we talked about earlier, he's able to get these huge early game gold leads through his creative pathing, his creative thinking. And I want to see, like, come on, finish it.
Agreed. We're pretty far away from there. Closing games, the struggle for this BDS lineup. But again, I think the 1-1-3, the hero of the game thus far, falls behind a bit early because of the strength of Lilia, leverages his bot. And this is big for anyone following BDS. Hold that thought as Paris is locked up. Bukata here to follow. Paris taken down. Nice little trap there from SK to punish. But meanwhile, on the top side, the counter punch coming through is now it's Gen X who's in trouble. Forced to flash back, but will get cut down. Another TP on the way up. Reeker with ulti available, and Nuke gonna start TPing out. 1-1-3. They just try to find an angle to go into the wall, but that is a fast Yone. Nice flash to the side. Nice lock up to bring him under tower. Knock back into the wall. Knock up. Kill will still come through. Maybe a tenth of a second.
Onto this bot side while 1-1-3 is making this top side play. And it's a great dive, but because Reeker has the TP, he's able to force both Nuke TP out and kill 1-1-3. But a very well executed dive. 1-1-3 takes that last tower shot, which brings him down so low. Reeker checks the bush intelligently with W, thinking that Nuke could be TPing out. And 1-1-3 just barely, maybe if he eat him into the tower or something, he could have CC'd him for a little bit longer. But doesn't quite get up.
Super close game, but BDS remain ahead on objectives, and it's likely they're going to close out the feats here.
Yone here is able to get quite a decent gold lead onto this Azir. Getting to zone Gnar here. It's a good cross map from SK.
Also the Blade Spike, definitely going to feel good. Nice bit of a trap here. Loopy going over the wall, trying to lock up Paris. Soul unbound from Reeker. Good bit of damage down, but not nearly enough to get any kills. Bukata on the way in. Now, a sleep might change the story, but the rage is starting to stack. That's one sleepy Gnar. Desperately wants to go Mega, but this fight is getting awkward fast as Paris has generated so much space and Irrelevant now goes Mega. I don't think this dive is there. Ice on the way in, too. He's got the range. The curtains have been called. But SK are getting the hell out of dodge. Well defended by the side of BDS.
It's a great...
But not able to stop Nuke from this immense side lane pressure. They're also going to concede bot lane tier 1.
Yeah, now Nuke will catch back up in gold onto this Yone, which feels pretty damn good for him. And if they can play range very well, they can always poke them down and generate space that way. I would say that I favor BDS comp going like later and later into the game. I also do think it gets to a point where Nard should start.
do leverage it to get priority position on the objective.
Par's getting poked out a little bit.
SK walking to this choke is definitely tough, but Irrelevant's backing off, so he's not going to threaten too much here. Now we've just conceded. We want full 50-50. Now that the Mega is gone, BDS are in a bit of a tougher position. Gen X coming in behind. Paris will spot him, but who is spotting who? Paris finds the initial engage. Irrelevant now on the chase in. Loopy locked up. Kadui trying to fire back. Bukata, eyes set on the objective. 2.5k health getting lower and lower. 1-1-3 too far away. That's the Drake already picking over, but Nuke scooping 2 up. Finding Kadui looking to chase down Gen X as well. Locked out comes in from Ice. Paris gonna find the CC. 1-1-3 knocks him back. Symphony of CC there from BDS. They find those kills, but SK to make it better. But right now, I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, 1-1-3 doing a little threatening.
Loopy just walking forward. This tower is about to fall. Good VAR assault to start things off. Paris missing a bit on the Shattering Strike. Irrelevant off to the side. Reeker laying down a lot of damage, but not going to finish much here as Paris re-engages. Nuke setting up the tower. Nice positioning from BDS, denying any potential fallout from SK. And again, disconnected from the side of SK. Harder because whatever angle you were hoping to find is removed the second that he throws up that tower.
It's an Otacon start here, but SK want a match. They want to fight.
About 9 seconds. Lilia fast, but not fast enough to get here, so SK will need to fight if they want to stop this one or prey on some sort of miracle steal. Some sort of fumble from 1-1-3, 3k, getting lower, shock blast in, ulti goes through, and they manage to steal it! Ruin is on, but the flowers are still gonna get taken down. Ice trying to clear as many as he can, but he only has 4 bullets. That was incredibly awkward. They do manage to find the steal. I guess I caster cursed it, but 1-1-3 still trying to force the fight. Gen X with a knockback, but just brings his team deeper into the fight. A lonely Swirl Seed, the only sign of Bukata in this exchange. Kadui, good damage. Irrelevant, not gonna get hit by the Q. SK still pushing forward. They got it. They got the Otacon out of that.
I don't know how. Reeker got a 3-4-man Yon ultimate while also stealing the Otacon at the same time. I need a replay. How does he steal? What's his? I'm speechless. His ulti didn't even look like it hit the Otacon. And they had smite.
It's a bold move, but it's a huge committal. Okay, so they want to play through the bottom side of the map. Meanwhile, BDS happy to play through mid. Nuke keeping that pressure up. No one shepherding that wave in from SK. Nuke can just keep pushing if he wants to threaten or deny some resources. Both teams 5v5, posturing, fishing for the fight. Irrelevant Meganar. Gen X trying to proc it early, looking to knock him back. Blast cone there. Reeker can now follow. Full committal onto Irrelevant. They want to take this Nard to the fight, but it does mean that they've conceded the objective. 1-1-3 immediately coming in, trying to find the follow-up. A kill traded. Loopy going for more on the engage. Kadui with the ultimate. Lockdown on the Skarner. The chain CC there, but he still manages to get down the Impale. Sleep coming through. Can they find the follow-up? Nuke going for the pushback. The team ready to go. Eyes on Ice. The Jin ready to take over, but he just doesn't have the position. SK, more kills coming out in the play.
And it's so
again, we see the start here.
Like, I like Irrelevant has a perfect fight here. He's about to hit Mega. He can be so useful in this fight, but he misses this ulti on Gen X. He's too late in taking this plant, so he gets cancelled, and then he jumps when he's already dead. It's just a disaster for him, right? But then 1-1-3 flashes out, and he's just barely able to ult Gen X here. Gen X should ideally space a little bit further back. He doesn't get hit by the Skarner ult, and maybe they can just take Skarner down without him dying. And then it's a great flash ulti from Nuke to take down Loopy.
Effectiveness on crit chance. No longer there. Same case for Yasuo. So Reeker hitting harder than he ever has before, and Irrelevant doesn't have any CC in this form, so the nerf doesn't matter, but the buff sure as hell does.
And the stop push. I mean, the Seeker's arm guard.
Yeah.
Oh, Loopy.
Pale over the wall. Loopy locked up. CC well layered as Kadui tries to fire back, but Loopy still standing tall. Curtain call coming out, but all of SK ready to follow up. Some damage coming through onto Reeker, but Reeker can just now chase, getting incredibly aggressive, unstoppable as he recalls. Loopy will finally drop. Reeker getting taken out as well. The Ignite gonna finish the job, and now Nuke on the chase. Hungry for a little bit more. Baron on the table. BDS, they can start it, but it's a tough call. Bukata does have flash. He could just look to steal. Kadui just continuing to poke. Relevant Meganar on the way.
SK needs to drop it. They weren't able to get any of the poke, and 3 versus 5 is just not good enough. And it's Loopy getting caught out, but he's actually fine. But it's Reeker that really wants to make something out of this TP, and he ends up going too deep and falling. And SK are able to pick up the mid lane tower, but it's Nash for the side of BDS.
Massive to have that Nash make the difference. For now, the answer is no, but it gives SK so much more confidence to step up and poke. Nuke, though, continuing split pushing. BDS can just back away towards Nuke if they want a 5v5. Instead, play for the inhib tower. SK caught between a rock and a hard place. Again, they want the Mountain Drake, but still they're risking a 50-50 at this state while Nuke is guaranteed to break a tower. Reeker trying to find the fight, but he does not hit Ice. Crucially, Paris finding a bit of CC. Ice untouched. Objective down. 1-1-3. Better on the smite. That's the soul over the fight. The base now exposed as Nuke's involved. And this is disaster.
It's a disaster for SK, and this was practically a 4v5. And BDS doesn't look like they can go for
While
more.
his team took the objective, that is the worst possible scenario for SK. They had to make a choice. Either one, they would have lost something. And in this case, they lost both.
And that's 2 inhibitors gone. Mountain Sulfur side of BDS. And you kind of have to feel as SK. It's a tough game now.
It's a tough game. And again, it started well. I like the way they use Lily at that level 1, with the Bukata overstaying a bit, not respecting the lane prio. How do you build the Iron Man suit in the desert, aka how do you throw this game? If you let it go to Elder, I think that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
There's no reason. Relevant standing on the side with Meganar, trying to zone. Wall up goes down, knock back onto Bukata. He should just fall. Stun coming through there as well, but he buys a bit of space with the stopwatch. Nuke and Ice now ready to follow. Nice knockout coming through from Paris. Instantly, the 3-man shuffle. The Emperor has arrived. SK not going to get the chance to fight for anything. Not the Elder, not the Baron. Bukata gets one back in return. Reeker does a little bit of damage here, but it's just not enough. Minions crashing in, but BDS want to play for a few more kills. The Relevant gets another auto down. Loopy will survive. The base, however, will not. And there it is for Ice. Penta kill for the Jin. 4 bullets, 5 kills.
And BDS, they will remain in control of this game as they close it out with a beautiful team fight, good patience, and they didn't throw it.